Anybody surprised that the Supreme Court is racist? Let me know in the comments. Here's the thing. Hi, I'm Darren Monroe. I used to work on Kamala Harris's campaign. One of 30,000 members of the engagement team. I had 30 years marketing branding experience for Universal DreamWorks MCA. Warner Brothers, Sony's. iHeartMedia was the last job I had there. These days on this channel, I take you from chaos to clarity. I got groups, including groups that are about to triple in price. So get in my description. If you're watching this from TV or whatever, go to my channel's homepage and join my groups because they will help you 1,000% better, whether it be get clarity, make some money, whether it be laugh. There's a cool laughter group I just started and you'll love it. Let me tell you something really important, something really powerful, like powerful, okay? We're already in racism. So, of course, nobody should be surprised at this. They voted for racism. Oh, well, what a surprise. You know, I'm going to eat in front of you guys, too. Forgive me, I got a little oatmeal here. What a surprise, right? I mean, are we really surprised that these groups, that these people are treating you like this? Are you really blown away by that? I'm not. I knew this was coming down when I was working with Kamala Harris's campaign. But do you know hundreds of thousands of people call me a liar? They say I'm lying. And I'm not even, it's not the MAGA people. Of course the MAGA people going to call you a liar. You know, they're MAGA people. It's the people on the left that fuck me up. I tell you. They're like, oh, Darren, this is not going to happen. And I'm like, are y'all crazy? Of course it's going to happen. These people aren't playing. They are coming for you. They're coming for us. So I already knew, I thought, and then yes, the you know what was stolen, which I can't even say the you know what. That's why I created a clarity group. Give my group, y'all, before it triple up in price. Because here's why. I want you to understand. I'm very personalized. We have about 300-something members in that group. You won't see that number right now because I'm changing over from one platform to another. So because I'm changing platforms, you see something like maybe 90, 100 something. But I'm changing people over. But we have over 300 members on that group. And I'm telling you, it is a hot mess to watch people. It's amazing to me. It's amazing for me to watch people who are... here's the thing. The biggest problem we have on the left is ignorance. You think I'm talking about the right. Of course they have ignorance. But we have a certain ignorance that's different. The ignorance that we have is that we don't know enough. Think about the number one thing people ask me. Why isn't somebody doing anything? Why is he getting away with it? He's not. We're on the 33rd week. Do you know he right now is God? 131. He's right now, he's lost. He's won only 28 and lost 131 in temporary injunctions, permanent injunctions, state injunctions, national injunctions, and cases. He's not winning. He's not winning. So why are people coming in? Why is he under that? Because they're ignorant. And it's not to put people down. It's not to know. Many people in our country don't even know how our country runs. They don't even, well, how do I find that out? Okay, I can tell you get in my group, but honestly, you get in Google. They got Google. They got Google, and now we got ChatGPTs. ChatGPTs. We got the ChatGPTs. The Google and the ChatGPTs. How can you not use the ChatGPTs? Use the ChatGPTs, bitch. It's free. ChatGPTs. And Google and ChatGPTs. I didn't have this when I started online, man. Let me tell you, I worked for iHeartMedia, and 20 years ago to this day, I was living in a FEMA paid-for hotel, running away from Hurricane Katrina. This Chicago guy didn't know nothing about no hurricanes in New Orleans, but I found out real quick, get the fuck out, end up running. First to Memphis, big shout out to Memphis people. Y'all treated us with a lot of love. Then I went over there to Texas, out in San Antonio, where iHeartMedia is based. And then I went to live up in Dallas for several years until 9 years ago I came back to live back home in Chicago. Let me tell you, man, it's real. It's, I'm trying to tell you, but I'm trying to get you to grasp on is that we have such an amazing online resource base. It's gigantic. There's nobody who can say they don't know. You say you choose not to know, but all you got to do is research and find out. Who needs to go to a library? You got the equivalent of 10 million libraries online. And what I'm saying is that if we just understand and accept that we don't know what we don't know until we know it, that's the beginning. The second part of that needs to happen is people need to understand something very clearly. This is going to be a patience process. We're in the middle of a marathon against people who have very long agendas. And that's why knowing that undercurrent of everything I just said is why I started the video with, is anybody surprised about the Supreme Court being racist? Of course they are. Of course they are. And given the way they just ruled, they basically just ruled that you could just fuck over Mexican people and anybody with a Spanish-speaking voice. And we've been telling African Americans and descended from enslaved people, been telling our Mexican brothers and sisters, yo, this ain't what you think it is. They're trying to sell you the dream. You're not better than us. You're not better than us. And we're not hating on you. Well, let's keep it real. Races hate on each other. There's prejudice everywhere. I'm prejudiced against stupid people. Well, we all have prejudice. We all have prejudice. Racism is something that only white people control. Racism is an economic system, like redlining, designing neighborhoods, making it harder to get jobs, doing everything that Trump's doing, basically. All right? Everything Trump's doing. But that was happening before Trump. He revealed the racism. He didn't bring it. And what I'm saying to you is that all of this stuff was happening. We telling the Mexicans. We telling the Asians. We telling everybody, Africans from Africa. We're telling Caribbeans. And they didn't believe that shit. They thought we were on some different type shit. They thought that we were just lazy many times. They thought, oh, y'all not blah, blah. We've been telling them for 160 years the game is the game. But now they're targeting the Mexicans. You know, we said something years ago when the Latino community became much larger than the black community. We like, oh, welcome. You got a target on your back. And they didn't listen. Many didn't listen. Some did. Some was on it. And I'm sorry, when I say Latino community or Asians and so on, I realized that there were Africans from Africa and Caribbeans and Asians of all kinds and Latinos across 33 nations that absolutely voted for Kamala Harris and understood. But there were some who didn't. In fact, many who didn't. Either sat on the couch or voted for Trump. And it's amazing to see the Trump voters, but it's even more amazing to me that people sat on the couch. Because everything that's happening right now, we all told you. Kamala Harris foretold this and told you what's going to happen. Every single last fucking word out of her mouth was on point like that. Nobody listened. Now, whoa, what happened? Yeah. The thing that gets me is the people who say I'm not political. Here's a little catch, and it's going to sound weird when I say this on Darren Monroe Politics, but I'm not political neither. I'm a human. I believe in democracy. I also am a capitalist. I run a business. I've been running a business for 20 years. And what I tell people as far as running this business for 20 years, and I break it down to them, I say, listen very carefully. I tell them, listen, here's what needs to happen. Here's what you need to understand. This problem we have with wealthy people ain't all wealthy people. No, motherfuckers. There are 20 million plus millionaires in America. There are 900 plus billionaires in America. And not all of them are on Donald Trump's side. They're not. I swear to you. I swear to you. There are people investigating this man right now. And they're financing it. They are. I talk about it in the back end of my Clarity group. They're investigating it. What are they investigating? The 2024 election? You heard about TikTok? That's why I'm over here. Thank y'all for being over here. Y'all heard about TikTok gone. TikTok getting ready to change the community guidelines and cut out politics, everything, cut out everything. They're shutting stuff down. So you can't even say, talk about the election fraud. You can't talk about any darn thing without being flagged or removed, or it's become like a fascist autocracy, dictatorship, police state. You notice I say like, because if it was, I would be in jail or dead, and so would the other people who speak out, including Congress, including politicians, governors. No. I'm trying to tell you right now, we're in a situation where, unfortunately, we're surrounded by people who are in the business world who don't want to let stuff. They want to continue to talk. They want to continue to make their money. So they don't want anything that upsets Trump, because we know Trump is a damn fool, right? And now he's got the Supreme Court saying you got the right to judge somebody based on the sound of their voice. For real. That's happening. It's happening. And we told them. And hundreds of thousands told me I was lying. They told me I was telling stories. They told me I was crazy. And I just knew that the Latino, Asian, African, the Caribbean community would jump in and show up in votes. And yeah, you know what was stolen, but understand this. I thought that was going to be an overwhelm. I thought she was going to take all 7 states. That's another reason why we think the you know what is stolen. Plus, I talk about the election in the Clarity group. And one of the things we were saying in the engagement team among ourselves was the math ain't mathing. In North Carolina, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, there was some weird shit going on. And I explained in my Clarity group report. I can't go any further. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. I understand. It's their platform. But understand this. This stuff that we're dealing with right now, with the open fuck you racism, unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, there's a thing on the docket that has a danger of going under, which is the gerrymandering case, Louisiana, in October 15th. If we lose that, that gives states the right to gerrymander and cut out the representation for black and brown people. Here's what that means. Instead of having 3 to 5 representations, they could cut the districts down to 1. Yeah. You see which finger? That way there's less House of Representatives in the House representing black and brown people. That means that out of 435 House of Representatives, let's say there were 30 black, 35 black, okay? With 15% of the Americans. But if you look at 15%, then you look at the Mexican population, the Latino overall population, we damn near 40-60% something of the nation. And so if they gerrymander, they mean we could be the population, but we don't have the representation. So what do? Obviously, you say stuff to your Congress, and they fight the best they can. If they're Democratic, if they're in the red state, you join Indivisible and see what can be done and said there. But the idea, indivisible.org. But here's the thing. What does it really mean? It means that they empower the House and they remove the power of any minorities. And they remove the power of the Democrats, okay? And what I'm saying is this. I want to make sure I say this correctly. But listen, everybody. The great thing about our country, not their country, not the country, but our country, and let me call it out, the United States of America, is that one group, one political party can change all the stuff over that existed for decades, but another one could change it back and then some. And what we have to identify is that the Democratic Party has an ability. They got an easy, low-hanging fruit win here. And it looks like we are going to win big in 26 and 28. Especially since we know they're going to try to steal it. So there's no excuse to come up with now. But what we have to do is get started addressing our internal challenges. It's one thing for the Supreme Court to be racist, but it's another thing to look at their own racism in our own leftist group. The same leftist group that wanted to primary Kamala Harris, a vice president who served well. There's only 2 vice presidents in the history of my life since I was born in December of 2000. I'm very old looking for my age. No, in 1970, there's only two vice presidents who should have been primaried. That's Ford, who would not impeach Nixon with his punk ass. That's why he only had 1 term. And Dan Quayle. Dan Quayle was just really not he was incompetent. He just said some of the stupidest shit. Notice I didn't say Dick Cheney. Notice I didn't say Pence. And of course, I don't like either one of them. Or George Bush. Obviously not George Bush, former head of the CIA, but he was damn near running the Reagan administration. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't primary somebody who's more than qualified. And nobody really wants to say it, but it's not only the voting, but it was also the Democratic Party who didn't want a black Indian woman married to a Jew. And they're not willing to say it. They're too busy pointing at the MAGA people. I ain't gonna point at MAGA. I know they racist. Or at least they claim that I'm not racist. I just believe in this. Okay, yeah. That's why I don't debate them. But what I will say is that our side got problems, big ones. And here's the other thing, they're gonna have a hard time getting Gavin Newsom in. Nobody's talked about the fact that it's great that he's doing what he's doing, but let's put it like this: only way Gavin Newsom gonna get the black vote is if he started talking now. You say, oh, but black vote ain't the most to vote. You're right. But we're the only ones who voted 80% plus, like we did for Biden, 85% for Kamala. We vote in droves. Facts. So, yeah, if you don't want to really get into letting black people know that you have their concerns in mind in time, not at the last minute, and assume the black vote, you're going to have a problem. And the question becomes, is Kamala going to run? And I believe she will. I believe this book deal is going to lead into midterm support that she's going to do for the midterm candidates. And then she's going to go and make an announcement in 2027. Nice and early. Just like Obama did in 2007. In February 2007. Yeah. Going to do it early. Grassroots. She's going to kill it. She's still the leading person in the polls. Even over Newsom. She's going to do it. It's her game to win. And I think she's coming back. When she's coming back, she's going to get that ass. Facts. But I'll tell you this whole thing going on with the racist regime stuff, that stuff has blowback. The interesting thing, and that's why I say that raids in our city, including here in Chicago, the ICE raids that have started. Raids in Chicago, I call it, are a blessing because they take any community, any city that's like this with different people and diversity, they take this and turn it into this because we start banding together. And that's what it's all about, banding together, showing up together. Seriously, not about politics. It's about human life. You're going to tell the gay community they're not human beings. They're trying to teach us gay. And I'm like, how do you teach that shit? You know, like, no, it's a lifestyle. It's not a choice. It's a choice. It's not a lifestyle. They're a choice. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Somebody chose a man who was a man when they're a man, or chose a woman when they're a woman. No, it seems like in their DNA is something that's natural. And then they say, oh, well, the blacks. It's funny how they take everything and then blame you for having nothing. Isn't that interesting? I remember a guy that used to work with my mother had the best saying. It says, like shooting a cat in the leg and blaming the cat for limping. Shooting the cat in the leg and blaming the cat for limping. You take our shoes and say we need to pull it up by our bootstraps. You take our water and then say we need to be more hydrated. You take our air and say we need to breathe. You take our wings and say we need to fly. You take our life because you know you want us to die. But we're not, motherfucker. We ain't going nowhere. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. I'm here in Chicago, Big Nun, doing my Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. We ain't backing off. And I don't mean just Chicago, just everybody. Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, New York, Philly, D.C., L.A., Denver, Phoenix, Oakland, Riverside. I say it like that. Riverside. San Francisco, San Jose. Do you know the way there? Las Vegas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Fort Worth, Dallas. You know, hey, Dallas, Fort Worth. I like to say Fort Worth, Dallas, just to make the Dallas people mad. Because I lived in Dallas, but I got to tell you, I like the Fort Worth people a lot better. Right? Fort Worth people cool, man. They were more chill. I was like, y'all cool as hell. I like y'all. You ain't got that weird way about y'all. I ain't going to say nothing. Atlanta, even in red states, you know, you can call them out. Savannah, you know, you can call out all them places, man. You can call out, you know, Orlando, Miami, you know, everywhere. People in blue states pay for the red states. People in blue cities, even if they're red states, are the core of the red states, especially the two biggest, Florida in Texas. They're blue. I learned that while working on Obama's campaign. I had no idea. Like, whoa, okay, I didn't know that. Think about it. We're really a country that has major cities, and then the rest of the state is rural than a motherfucker. Yeah. It's like, God damn. Yeah, but that's everywhere. It's not just the South. You want to see some real ass country shit? You could go south here of Chicago into Illinois. My brother calls it Illinois, Alabama. I got a girl, my brother. He's funny. Oh, man. But same way in New York. Oh, you will be, man. You be in New York City. Then you be in New York when you're in Western New York. Like, oh, shit. Same thing in California. I swear to you. California's off the hook. You go to LA, it's one thing. But you start going out to them little towns. Don't be there when you my complexion. When the sun go down. Catch and kill me. And you see what I'm saying? And now they're acting that way towards the Hispanico Latinius people. The Hispanico Latinius people. You know that they are a problem. I think it's hilarious that they created a white community. You know, again, I'm not surprised that the Supreme Court is racist. So check this out, because they were voted by the guy who appointed other racist judges. Wait a minute. Here's the thing. You heard the story about the white community that said they're whites only in Missouri? I'm like, what? You talking about a sundown town? Because there's still hundreds of those in America, and they never get talked about. We used to have something called, and forgive me, black folks, I think it's called the Blue Book. We had something called a Blue Book, or maybe it was a Green Book. It was a book created by an African American, made a lot of money doing it too. He made money driving all over the country, listing spots that are black folks in it, and listed their spot and where to go and their address for black people who were traveling, because there were places they couldn't go because there wasn't no blacks allowed in hotels, in eating spots, and even in gas stations. Like, damn, we can't even get gas? In these sundown towns, it was like, oh, shoot, you had to sleep on the side of the road. And sometimes they had these back roads. Like, if you look across America, there are back roads. The whole idea of back roads was this. Well, for black people, African Americans, descended from enslaved people, is that when you saw a truck coming or people coming, it was like white folks, you would get off the road and go to the back road and hide, because there were lynchings. Real talk. So you got these sundown towns that still exist. You see them because they have the Confederate flag, or do not, and the police will come up and tell you, and the other people tell you, I hate it here, but we got Klan here. You not supposed to be here, but I hate it here. But you live here, bitch. You know you the Klan they talking about. Don't even play that. Point is, they got that. We ain't gonna have the up in the neighborhood. We ain't gonna have these Latino people coming around. And they mad because the brown people get in the bag, and the reason they get in the bag because they working harder than you lazy motherfuckers. That's what it is. No, nobody work harder than the Mexicans, man. The Mexicans be working like a motherfucker. They know how to work. They know how to party. For real. They hustle, and they scared. White folks are scared of the hustle, because here's what's happening. It's either the Mexicans on the low end, or it's and there's Mexicans up on the high end. So forgive me, you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of Mexicans who do a lot of blue collar work who are awesome. Then you got Mexicans, blacks, the Indians are killing it. They showing up, everybody's showing up with degrees, and now you can't get chosen because you're being outworked. So what did that work back into racism? Well, The truth is that bad black and brown neighborhoods come from the design of racism for the last 100 years. What they figured out is if you have poor housing, bullshit housing, bullshit education, and bullshit job opportunities, you have people making bullshit decisions. And it's a minority of that group. It's not the majority. It's the minority of that group. The minority of the minorities. True. In the hood, they know it. It's single digits, the number of problem people. The majority of people in the hood trying to live their life. But I tell you this. When you create these neighborhoods, and why would you not change these neighborhoods? It would make sense. But I'm thinking as a non-racist. It makes sense that if you help poor neighborhoods become richer neighborhoods, and you help make better cities and people earn more money, that's more tax dollars for you. That's more money for you. But they so worried about what other people get. The racists I'm talking about. They worry about what other people get. Oh, we can't have you having this. We gotta have. They hating always, always and forever. Yeah, they hating, y'all. And then what happened is that you get these poor neighborhoods, and then they blame you for being poor again. Going back to it, why aren't you flying after they took your wings? Why are you limping? Because you shot you. Why don't you pull yourself up by bootstraps? I ain't got boots, bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's the craziest thing. So now when we look back to the Supreme Court ruling, I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. I knew that was coming. After hundreds of thousands of people called me lying over this, Kamala Harris thing. The question is, what do we do? Well, first thing is we got to realize there's only so much we can do out there. There's only so much we can do out there. There's only so much we can do out there. We got to let this process play out. I know it's bad. But the same people are saying, it's so horrible picking up these Mexican people. And it's horrible how they did them. And it's so bad. Like, yeah, it is. But what you need to do, instead of just going after ICE saying, you ban ICE, why don't you start coalitioning with some of your fellow groups of people, particularly white women? I'm a white woman whisperer. Start coalitioning with Becky, who sat on the couch. Becky with the good couch need to get her ass off that couch in 26 and 28, okay? Start getting at them. Secondly, same thing to Latino and Asian communities. And thank you for those Becky's, Latinos, and Asians who did vote, okay? And I know that you know what was stolen, because some of y'all come at me and say, I believe it was the stolen election. I believe they showed up. It was just a stolen election. Okay, let's go there. But I found, and other people have confirmed it, particularly other white women, because I'm a white woman whisperer. White woman whisperer. And I'm single. So no, black women, I ain't the one that went out with the white girl, Becky with the good hair and the good couch. I don't know. I bring in white woman energy. I bring in women energy on this channel. I looked at my analytics. The black sisters love me too. Y'all better, baby. Y'all better love me. Rub my belly and get a prize. But here's the thing. I've heard from white women who said, man, I talked to my friends. They did not show up and vote. I mean, by the thousands. So we know there was a problem. You got to feel it, too. White women, you got to feel it. You've heard it inside of your own culture. Your white American culture, you know it. Latinos admit it, and I thank them for doing so. It opens up a very important conversation. The Africans and Caribbeans, listen, black folks here in America, African Americans descended from enslaved people, we got to pull together on this shit. Really. We really got to start saying, we got to stop fucking with each other. The Africans got to stop fucking with us. The Caribbeans got to stop fucking with us, but we got to stop fucking with them. Let's keep it real. It's a shared thing. It's real easy to say, yeah, they stuck up and they don't like us. No, motherfucker. It's both ways. Let's keep real. Let's be friends and be real about it. Because we tease them and fuck with them about shit. I remember I spoke at Tufts University. Yes, I'm very important. I spoke at Tufts University. And I'm really important. I'm really a big deal. So, I'm Kai Cenat's uncle. I am. I'm Kai Cenat's uncle. I'm not Kai Cenat's uncle. But I'm Kai Cenat's uncle, but I'm not really Kai Cenat's uncle. I should market that. For real. I should put out a profile. Hi, I'm Kai Cenat's uncle, but not really. So listen, I want y'all to join. Here's the thing. What if you don't know what a Kai Cenat is, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just look up Kaisenat, I believe it is. Young man, got tens of millions of followers. He's a streamer, and anywhere he shows up, he's like a rock star. I'm not hating on him. He's a wonderful young man. God bless him. He started a streaming university. I thought that was really, really clever. Got all the streamers to get together. I thought that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Nice young man. Kai Cenat. He's a funny man. Here's the thing I'm trying to get you to understand as I ramble on here. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Is that this shit was designed to be racist. I mean, this is the country that came and killed off the Native Americans. Killed them off. Then they went and got some other people that I heard about in Africa to come build them a country, and then they invaded another group of people, telling them go home. You gotta understand the irony of telling Mexicans go home. You fucking invaded their country and took the entire Southwest from Texas all the way to Florida up through the Western Hemisphere. You took their shit. You took it. And why did you take it? Well, remember the Alamo. Yeah, let's remember the Alamo. The Alamo was because they wanted their rights as Texans in Texas, where Texas was the Mexicans, and the Mexicans said, listen, all of these southern farmers want to come in here, but we don't have slavery no more. You can't bring slaves. So these are indentured servants. But the indentured servants kept escaping to Mexico and said, fuck that, we were slaves. Mexico was like, I'm not feeling you guys. Tell you what, you gotta go. Texas was like, tell you what, the white Texans were like, tell you what, fuck you, you ain't gonna do nothing to us. So they got together in the Alamo, said, we ain't going nowhere. Alamo is real small, by the way. It's a little tiny place. Like, you ain't going nowhere. Y'all don't do nothing to us. Y'all ain't the boss of us. We run our own shit. Yeah, right? Santa Ana said, listen, man, I don't really want to fuck y'all up like this, but y'all gotta go. And Santa Ana came in, boom, knocked them out. Next thing you know, remember the Alamo, we gotta take this back. How dare those Mexicans do that to us? And they beat them, took all their shit, and they wanted their shit. America has been run by white people who steal in the country. Then they stole the people to build a country, and then they came to the Mexicans, took their shit, didn't tell them. The border, they didn't come across the border. They didn't move the border moved on them. And then they get mad. How dare you do this? Come back over here. Julio went to sleep, woke up, the flag changed. You know what I'm saying? Siesta woke up, what the fuck? Get out of here, non-American. Okay? Like, you know, and so it's crazy when you hear this shit, this bullshit narrative that they're in our country. When are we going to get these foreigners out? I'm like, when you leaving, bitch? You know, really, what's happening? What's really going on? And what we end up seeing in this whole scenario is a group of people who are racist, who absolutely believe in racism in every sense of the word, but they try cleverly to hide it over and over again and reverse it. Oh, that's reverse racism. Here's the problem. There is no reverse racism. Racism, by definition, is economic disempowerment over other races. What economic power do Black, Latinos, and others have to have that over whites. Exactly. So what I'm saying is I'm not surprised of the Supreme Court ruling. It's sad, but the good news is this, and this is what you need to remember. Anything that's been taken over can be taken back through our laws. But you'll take the Constitution and tear it down. Hasn't happened, has it? Hasn't happened. See, they're still believers in the Constitution. That's why the lower courts keep fighting back despite what the Supreme Court does. There's a civil war going on. I talk about it in my Clarity group. There are 5 different civil wars. There's Republican, Democratic, judicial, wealthy, and military. 5 civil wars going on. I'm talking tonight late about it. You should join me at 7 o'clock. Join the group. Click the link in the description, link over in the channel. I'm talking tonight live, a couple hours about it. And I'm explaining to people how important it is. What are we dealing with right now? What are we dealing with? What's really going on? Because unfortunately, not enough people talk about it. You got to understand something important here. We are dealing with something much bigger than a racist and racism. We're dealing with the biggest problem America has is ignorance on both sides. Because there are people who didn't believe this shit could happen. It's narrative warfare. If you freak out over everything this man does, we know that you're ignorant, that you don't understand what's really going on. But he's getting away with stuff there and he's doing it. No, he's not, motherfucker. But he's shut down. He ignores the courts. No, he doesn't. You know why he doesn't ignore the courts? Why? Because they can't get him, but they can't get his court members. And if you take down the members of the court from the DOJ, who's going to fight your cases? They're already losing. I already told y'all that. They're already losing. I'm trying to get you to understand something. This is a weight game we're dealing with. Well, wait till they take over the country? No. Wait until you calm the fuck down. First of all, calm the fuck down. And then wait as they burn themselves out. The wheels gonna rock off this shit. Gonna rock off. That's the one thing that Andrew Carver was right about with his wannabe hidden racist ass. He keeps talking about, Andrew Carver, it ain't gonna happen. We gotta wait till the wheels fall off and blah, blah, blah. It was the economy. The economy, bitch, please. It wasn't no economy. It was, I don't want to vote for that Indian black woman married to the Jew. That's what it was. Why am I one of the few people saying that in the creators world on the left? That's not an alarmist. Say more of that shit. You know what it is. There's a lot of them us saying that, but there's a whole lot that isn't. Well, maybe it was economy. Get the fuck out of here. Wasn't no economy. So let's recap some of this for a minute, shall we? Let's recap this. The first thing is, this country was founded on racism. It was founded on people who were running from religious persecution, but they decided to get a bag. Now, what people incorrectly do, and I'm speaking as a capitalist, they incorrectly go out and say, yeah, that's why capitalism is bad. It has nothing to do with capitalism. It has to do with character. Capitalism is like energy. It's neither negative nor positive. It's just all about how you use it. That's it. Just like they say guns don't kill people. People kill people. Same thing. Capitalists ain't the enemy. It's the people and how they're using it. And the way they use it is based upon character. White folks figured they could make some money off of taking the Indians' land because they didn't understand their concept of land and took it over. Black people, we could get these black people during the slave trade, get cheap labor, and be able to control the cotton industry by 80+% around worldwide, and make all this money. That's how you had the Irish. That's how you had the English. That's how you had people who were poor, end up owning slave plantations and making a major bag. Bankrolling. That's how it happened. Then they said out west, oh man, a lot of stuff we can do out west, but we got to get rid of those Spanish speaking people. And they started fucking them up. They went over to their land in Texas, took over, loved the land. Next thing you know, Mexico's like, listen, man, y'all bringing slavery, everything, y'all got to go. Boom, kicked them out. Then they got worried. Wait a minute. Now that we've taken this land, we've taken these people, we've done this, who's gonna clap back on us? Let's somehow subvert the vote of the blacks. Make sure they're not in power. Because when blacks got freed in 1865, shit, they started moving like lightning. We free now? Shit. They were taking over all sorts of governments in Louisiana, all the way over to South Carolina. And they said, we got to make laws to change it so these blacks don't take over, because they started making decisions. Then they'll be free and we won't have privilege. And we got to tell the poor white people, let's make sure that they don't have privilege. Let's make sure that you understand, poor white people, it's not us, the wealthy elite, that are attacking you. It's those N-words. It's those Mexican, whatever derogatory word they have there. You know, oh, WBs. It's those other people that are coming in. We got to shut them down. But it's amazing how many of the Chinese, I ain't saying all of them. No, I'm not saying all, because that's not true. But many of the Chinese sat there and vote for Trump, not remembering. And the Koreans should have been in that bag with them too, and the Japanese, anybody Asian should have remembered how they treated the first group of Asians that came over here heavy, which was the Chinese who helped build the railroad. You know what they did? They were getting businesses. They were growing. They were stepping up, especially out west. They made it against the law to cut back on the Chinese and give them any rights. They couldn't own businesses. They did everything they could to block them. And many of those Chinese went back to China. They fucked them over. Think about that. Think about the country we would have been if blacks, Latinos, Asians had the chance to really live the American dream instead of you selling it to them in the form of bullshit. And because of that want so bad to be part of the American dream, people let this motherfucker in. They let him in. And what's frustrating to black people is that we feel like, well, why we got to learn this lesson with you? Why? Why do we have to learn this lesson with you? Why do we have to be the ones to, it's like, damn, we got to learn this. We got to go through this shit again? The fuck? That's what black people feel like. A lot of us. And because we told our African and Caribbean brothers, we told, especially the Haitians, man. I hope, and I know some people might think, well, yeah, they stole the election, so maybe the Haitians did vote the way they supposed. Maybe, I'll give that to them. But same thing with white women, Latinos, whispering to the white people, to the white women. White women, I'm the white woman whisperer. Shh, it'll be okay. Becky, it'll be all right. Get your ass off that couch and vote. But the Caribbeans and the blacks, man, the Africans, especially like the Cubans, but they sold them on that dream. They gave them all sorts of stuff. They sold them on the dream. Then they turned on them. Now they know what we know. What we've known for 160 years is African Americans. So when they say, the Supreme Court ruled against, and the Supreme Court supports racism. Are they bringing slavery back? I need to do another video on that. Systematic slavery. The question is part of it already here? What you gonna do about that? What can you do? I'm not saying nothing can't be done. We definitely protest out in the streets, so on. But some want to leave, or some already have. There's been an expat movement by blacks, whites, everybody. Like, we want to get out with this Trump. You know when white people are running away from the country, one day you're gonna see me, my plaques be hung up in Thailand, in Phuket, Thailand, or Pattaya, or Da Nang in Vietnam, or in Dubai. It's 30 cents on the dollar in Dubai. It's 3 cents on the dollar in Thailand and in Vietnam. Shit. I'm trying to tell you. But it's going to be all right. Here's the thing you got to understand most out of this. Here's the thing. It's not that I accept racism. No, I don't. Like no one should. Horrible. But what I do accept is that there are people, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Some people, I'm being kind, a lot of people did not believe this could happen. Despite everybody pointing out Germany, pointing out everything. Now keep in mind, the good news is he is not a dictator. He is not an autocrat. And he is not a fascist. Or else I would be dead and in jail, and so would other people. My cohorts would be too. My colleagues. So what is he? 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 He's a wannabe motherfucker. He's always been a wannabe real estate investor who basically invested daddy's money, screwed it up at one point. He's always been a wannabe celebrity, apprentice in ratings. Now he's a wannabe president. And he didn't expect to win. He knew Hillary Clinton was going to win that. He knew it. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton accepted it. She didn't do all that clown shit he did in 2020. We're dealing with somebody who absolutely is grifting. He's being investigated. How do I know? Because I've had people who reached out to me, investigators, past investigators, retired investigators, fired investigators by the Trump administration, people who took buyouts and said, yeah, there's something going on. There are wealthy people who are financing it. All the wealthy people are not on this guy's side. They're fighting against him. He's caused them troubles. There are also people who are fighting from the Republican side because they don't like this. I'm talking about the Bush and Reagan Republicans who are very unhappy. Do you know in the last 33 weeks, we've had many Bush, Reagan and Bush and Trump appointed judges ruling against them in lower courts. And 99%, here's good news, 99% are lower courts. All of the cases are in lower courts. It's just that 1% that's a doozy, ain't it? Shit. We're fighting through this. We got 41 months to go. And nothing he's putting out there is permanent. We can fight to get it back. When we do get back in 26 and 28, the fight isn't over. That's the thing I want you to remember. We're on a marathon. This motherfucker has fucked up so much shit in these few months. 9 months of stuff. It's going to take years to fix this. The internal stuff that Elon and Doge did. No, Doge is going to jail. So does Elon. If he doesn't escape to Russia first. Okay? Understand, it's a matter of time. I believe that Steve Miller, Pam Bondi, Elon Musk. I believe that Tom Homan, Kristi Noem. I believe that Cash Money Patel. I believe that just a whole host of people. Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. I believe they're all going to jail, man. They've all broken laws. Like, not just kind of, sort of, maybe kind of in between. They broken laws, y'all. Laws. For real. Like, fuck you, laws. Like, whoa. Like, really? You know? Shit. Oh, man. Do that shit Hegseth did in the Reagan era. I list out in the Clarity group. I got a new one coming. The top people who are going to jail. And tell me, in this world, why you don't understand how important national security is? That's some take you to jail shit he did with Signalgate and taking documents out. Oh, hell no, not in America. Are you kidding? They're going to get him. They're going to get him. No, for real. They're going to get him. You wondering why somebody hadn't done anything? Well, first of all, there have been 3 groups fighting. I haven't mentioned at all in this video, almost an hour long. 23 governors and attorney generals. We've had the judicial branch lower courts, which take on 99% of the courts. So he can't just shoot everything up to the Supreme Court. He's got 600 plus cases going on. Plus there is there's the nonprofits, the ACLU, Indivisible, NAACP, and hundreds of others fighting back. Federal unions, the whole 9. Everybody's fighting back, y'all. It's an ugly situation, but people are fighting back. And there are people fighting and winning. Even American Bar Association sued twice. And they won once. I don't know if they won the second one, but yeah. Everybody's fighting. That's why I said he's 20-something and 130-something. 120-something in losses and 130-something in, 20-something in wins and 130-something in losses. And you think he's winning? Listen, racism sucks. Misogyny sucks. Prejudice sucks. Homophobia, xenophobia sucks. But time-wise, we'll make it through it. Can we bring the country back? Can we make America great again? Oh, I don't know. But I do believe in the people. As a Katrina evacuee, I saw this country band together. During George Floyd, people band together. During the pandemic, band together. And I'm downtown Chicago here where I live. And I saw, like, remember at a certain time, I think it was 6 p.m., people who were quarantined to their homes would be ringing the doors, ding, 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 yeah, and turning the lights on and off and making noise and supporting each other. I thought that was pretty cool. And that happened across the nation. When I was fleeing Katrina, so many people were so nice to me. I couldn't believe the country had band together in spite of the failure of the Trump administration that killed all those people. I got faith for our country. The people can make it happen. That's what I believe I have faith in. But also have faith in our 23 governors and attorney generals. They're the real Democratic leadership, not Congress. Congress individually are great, like Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and a whole host of other people who are really great trying to fight. And I like the fact that Garcia's really gotten out there from the Oversight Committee. I like what that young man's doing. I do. Don't criticize him. I like him because he's doing a good job. Better job than that. No disrespect to the dead, but the previous guy who was there, who shouldn't have been in that position. They should have let AOC get that position. It was a hot mess. You got traditionalists like Pelosi and like, what do you call them? Apak Shakur. That's a good one. Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club called Jeffries. But you got people who are genuinely fighting, doing this. But you got to understand there's a process to this. And it takes time. And we're in a suck. It's, that's what military always say, speaking as the son of a veteran, of 3 veterans in the family, my father, my grandfather, and my cousin, Willie, who was a Marine. He was killed in Vietnam May rest in peace. Willie Carlton. Embrace the suck. That's what the military says. FUBAR, fucked up beyond all recognition, but embrace the suck. All is not lost. All is not ended. Our best days are ahead of us. They're losing. Do not let them bring the narrative warfare on you. Get in my clarity group before it triples. If you want to get it after it triples, that's fine. It is worth $60 a month and $297 a year. But it's not there right now. It's $20 and $100 as I do this transition to the other platform. But it will be going up. I promise you, because it's worth it. Think about how much better you feel. And some of you don't recognize that value. I understand. Or don't have the money. It's okay. Don't proclaim your poverty in the comments. Don't do that. Because when you tell the world you're poor, you stay poor. Thoughts and words become things. Real talk. But to those of you who are like, this is worth it, I need to hear from somebody who's going to tell me what's going on, who's going to cut right through the bullshit, and who's going to say some stuff off the record. And I say a lot of off the record stuff. Stuff that I get flagged and banned here on YouTube. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. When I start talking about investigations, can't even say it. All right, I got to go back to transferring everybody over. Notice I said the Clarity Group has 300 members. Right now, we had about maybe 100. They got over to the new platform. So when you click the link in the description or on my homepage, which I still need to change it on the homepage, I think. But yeah, you will see like 100 something members. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the other 200 over. Oh my God. But all of that said, I want to wish you well. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I love you. And even if you don't have the money and you subscribed here, hopefully I earned your subscription. Everything will be well in time. It's going to take time. Hang in there, liberals. Hang in there, Kamala Harris voters. By the way, Kamala Harris is going to be the next president of the United States. You watch. I put my money on it. I bet. 30-1 odds. They think, oh, she's not coming back. Really? Book tour? She's got all of the... She coming back. She coming back.